What's up, guys? How's it going today? So I just wanted to intro this by, I guess, giving a little bit of backstory. So I am gonna start this series of videos. I've convinced myself finally to do it. I feel like I have real intention and purpose behind it now, and I don't know, I enjoy the path that I've been on with this outside of recording it. But I would like to prerequisite this by saying I'm not a finance guy. I'm not a finance bro. I'm just a normal guy who's tried to figure out how to invest for his future on his own. And the last couple of years, ever since I had my kid, I have come to financial conclusions that I had to get life together, learn how to save, invest, do all the important things you have to do when you're an adult with money. Um, and that led me down the rabbit hole of like Wealthsimple and like learning how to stock invest, following a person or two that I like to get a little bit of like inspiration and guidance from, I guess. I mean, I really do make a lot of my own educated decisions outside of what I hear and see on the internet because you can't always go by what everybody else says. And when you see a video, you also don't know if that's still relevant because that video may have been made a week or a month before and only been posted now. But sorry, rambling there. This is going to be a little bit of rambling in this video today, anyways. You're going to get to know the real me a little bit. I am a heavy smoker, heavy vapor. I like vaping and making money. What's wrong with that, right? But so you are gonna have to bear with me, huffing and puffing. When I'm in my zone, thinking about numbers and things, it's a bad habit, but it's a tendency, and I do it a lot. So we are gonna look into Wealthsimple today. These are videos for like the average Joe who doesn't know what they're doing. This is not for any kind of experts. If you're an expert, you're already far beyond me, and hopefully you make more money than I have, even though I've done pretty well. Hopefully you're balling, you know? Um, so yeah, long story short, a couple years ago, I decided I was going to get back into saving and investing on Wealthsimple. I used it many years ago. Got a little bit of free money on it through like the learning thing they had on there. They had like a little, it would teach you lessons about certain things, and you could earn a few bucks. And I also had like a referral thing. And anyway, so I had a couple bucks and I made a couple bucks and then I pulled it all out. It was literally just like toy money. Like I think it was like 25 to $40. I was just trying to understand how the platform works. So I took the free money I got with it and then I tested it out, tried to play with it for a few months, see if I could make something. Like I said, I made a couple bucks. I think it was $25 at the beginning and I got it to like 35, 40 and then I pulled it. But a little over 2 years ago, I decided I was gonna like really buckle down and try to invest. And so I did. I got on Wealthsimple. I started making small deposits. I slowly worked it up, and I made a little bit of money. And recently, I pulled the majority of my investments because the whole goal of the investments is to make money, but in a general sense, outside of the investments, it's investing in whatever is going to be the next path that's going to help me with my financial freedom. So I did take the money out in order to help me buy a work truck because in the spring I have plans to run my own business a bit. But unfortunately, I plan to buy that truck a little bit later, but my vehicle on me recently. So I was forced to do it a little sooner than later. So I'm trying to start making use of the truck, but I had to pull money in order to do that. I had to have a vehicle. I had to take my kid to daycare, all that. So now the money is almost gone out of my investments. And I've pulled everything from my TFSA, which is where I've been keeping it. If you don't know what a TFSA is, go through that later on. But um, so now I have a couple grand sitting in a checking account on Wealthsimple, and we are gonna look at this in just 1 second here. But I've decided I'm gonna start a journey from scratch and try to record every time I make an investment or do anything larger. I'm not just gonna look at it just for check-ins. I'll look at it and make a video when I'm doing something with it that's relevant so you can see the actual journey all the way from the beginning to whatever the end is. and we'll see how well I can do. I'm just an average Joe. I want to try to make some money, but I want to show other average Joes that they can do it too. And even though this is a long video, if you're still watching this, like, watch it. If you have stayed this far, there's a reason that you're listening, and you want to make some money, you want to learn how to change your habits, save for your future, whatever it is. Maybe you want to buy a car, a house, maybe you want to buy 5,000 rubber duckies and you don't have the money to do it. So we're going to teach you how, slowly but surely, hopefully. Well, not even teach you. You're going to watch what I do, and you're going to make your own educated guesses in life as to whether that's relevant or not to you. But so, good morning, Stephen. Wealthsimple. Welcome to Wealthsimple. If you've never used it before, it's Canadian, essentially a bank now. It used to be just a stock trading platform, then a stock and crypto trading platform, and then now they've got every feature you could ask for in a Canadian bank. They've got debit cards, credit cards, lines of credit, all the other fancy things, right? So I have been using Wealthsimple for years. If I go all time, you can see I started. Actually, it only shows my recent, but there was something previously, which would have been probably before this mark that they're showing. Um, but I mean, yeah, no, there's no money through. Oh, right at the beginning. There you go. Actually, so it was in 2019, right at the beginning here. Says I put 45 in. We made like nothing then. I'm misremembering the origin of this. We made like $4, $4. So that's fine. We're not worried about that. You can see I've got a couple grand in this account right now. But what I want to focus on today, these are all different accounts that I've opened. Um, what I want to focus on today is saving and investing in your TFSA. So if you're Canadian, if you're 18 and older, you have a TFSA, the amount you can put in there is dependent on how old you are. You get a new allowance added on every year. I was born the year after the TFSA was made, so I'm 1 year shy of full deposit to the TFSA. I think the cap for me is a little over 100 grand, I want to say. Um, so, TFSA, tax-free savings account for Canadians. Essentially, whatever you put in here and the profit you make on it in the long run cannot be taxed by the government as income. So, basically, the best place you can save and invest, and you have roughly $100,000 worth of room if you're my age. If you're younger, you have less, but $100,000 at my age is a lot of money to invest and play with, and depending if you've had it for longer than I have, or maybe you've already used it and made a bunch of money, and that's fantastic for you. I am proud of you. We're gonna do this we're gonna do this as a team here. I wanna just be a friend to other average Joes like myself who don't understand, and maybe I can answer questions for them. Maybe somebody else on YouTube can teach me something new just through trading of information, and yeah, it's great. So, this is my TFSA. You can see I did have a bunch of money in here. We're looking at weird things here all time. So you can see the track record. I started doing this in March of 2024. We're now in what, August 2026. So about 2.5 years, right? So I started off with small deposit, actually slightly larger deposits, 750, but then I did small deposits for a while along the way. You can see it increasing. What we're gonna look at is this net deposits right here when I'm scrolling. So there's 750. Don't mind the odd number there. I think that's like tracking from like this stuff back in the day. But so 1,000, 1,200, oh, 1,100, 1,200. You can see the progression of this small deposits, and then eventually, and you can see that I'm making money on it as we go here too. Like looking before this big deposit coming, 1250 put in. I'm up $120 roughly there, $115, 14, whatever. I'm up a little over $100, which for that is not bad. I mean, that's already like what? I just throw random numbers really fast because I have ADHD brain and none of them are exact. These aren't numbers I'm calculating as I go, so for don't take them to be exact. But it's like what, maybe 8% of profit or something there already, and this is just the beginning. And so then eventually I make a big deposit here. I put 4,000 in here. And so then all of a sudden our increase in value starts going up a lot more, right? Like we're up $200 in profit there all of a sudden a month later. And you can see the slow increase of deposits and the profit on top. We're down a little bit there. It's only like 150, 160 profit. But then as you stay consistent over time, you can see the difference right here with the net deposits line and the portfolio value. Look at the difference really over time here. So now we're like slowly cruising up. 8,500 invested. We're up $2,000. Um, so as you keep going, you can see the peak of where I was at semi recently, which would have been, yeah, 11 and a half. I want to say I put more in than that though at some point. Um, 11 and a half net deposits. My peak portfolio though, I want to say it was higher than that. Yeah, see, I just put a little bit more here. If I put it instead of all time, I put it to 1 year so I can see the scale a little closer here. So you can see I got up to it's a weird number there, but a little over 12,000 invested, and I was almost at $18,000, 17.6. So you do your math there. It's roughly 5,500 profit. Um, Now to put some good numbers into perspective, now I'm down there. Can I return? Look at the return for this year. That's profit from this year alone. You can see, obviously, you make profit faster as it increases, right? But like on a percentage scale as well. Like I was pretty high percentage of profit already this year compared to my account, like 3,100 in profit on an account with 12.1. I mean, you're roughly a little upwards of 20%, I want to say, on the year. And I took all this money out of the TFSA like a month ago. But 21% on the year is already amazing for somebody who doesn't know any of the special terminology. I'm not some magical investor. I could have taken a free trip somewhere if I wanted to with that money. It went into helping me get a truck, which is fantastic because that's thousands of dollars that didn't technically come out of my pocket. That's free money. That money made money, and eventually I paid $3,100 less for something. Or if you want to say it this way, if you look at what's still sitting in my account here, I basically have the profit sitting here. So this money that I'm sitting on is free money essentially. So what we're gonna do today though is we're gonna start this journey from scratch. It says I have 1 cent available to trade of 1 cent of this stock. That's just dividend interest or something like that that came back in after I pulled the money out. But we're gonna get this account flush with $100 exactly today. So what we're gonna do is, no, I don't want to transfer money out. I want to move money. We're gonna start this journey with $100 today. We're gonna invest it right now, and we're gonna put 99.99 because I want $100 in this. Actually 98 if we're being true to ourselves, because we got 1 cent in there, 1 cent there. We're gonna have 99.99 to trade because this 1 cent is sitting there. So yeah, we're gonna switch that over. We're gonna get $100 in this account. Boom, done. We have $100 in our TFSA. So what I'm gonna start with today, I would like to prerequisite this by saying, if you don't know anything about stocks at all, nothing, 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 the number one lesson is research. You have to do a little bit of research. It doesn't even have to be a lot, guys. I'm telling you, like people are gonna say research, 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 research. Like there's reasonable things that you need to research before you invest in something. There's extra details that will give you like a finer like a finer detail of like what you think will develop from a company or a stock down the road, etc. But like you can get a general grasp on a lot of stocks just through like common sense realistically. People are going to say this is crazy. You got to look at 8 million numbers. You do got to look at numbers. I am not telling you not to look at the numbers. I just told you research, research, research. But to get in on the entry level, you just have to use some common sense here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this. We need a wish list, and bear with me, guys. I don't really use the computer for any of this. I do this all on my phone, but I do want to do it this way because it's easier for me to record it to like have a more broad array of things going on the screen at once if I need to do various things down the road. If this becomes more in depth, and yeah, I need to look at multiple screens. Um, I want a full format video of this. If I do it on a screen recording on my phone, you're only going to get the like shorts style cropping to it. I want you guys to be able to see the details and stuff. So there is going to be a thing or two that I struggle to find on my own page. We need my watch list. There should be a watch list somewhere. Uh, yeah. Oh no, what did I do, guys? I didn't want to do that. Do, do, do. I just want a watch list. Where do we find that? Okay, so if I go under TFSA, a watch list. Okay. So that's my watch list on the side. Okay, so we're in the TFSA. Sorry, I looked right past it. We have the watch list on the side here. These are all stocks that I have personally chosen to keep an eye on. But we're going to look at specific ones today. I'm going to look at one that I'm going to start putting my money back into today. And then I'm going to look at one as essentially like a vessel, a tool to teach you that you can invest in something with common sense, as well as the number assessment. So the one thing I'm going to look at today that I am going to buy back into is VDY, Vanguard Investments Canada Inc. FTSE, Canadian High Dividend Yield Index ETF. That's a lot of letters, and just to say this is an ETF. So my understanding, like I said, I'm not a guy who knows all the terminology, this, that, and the other, but I'm going to show you can make money without being the guy who knows every weird little stock trading thing. This is normal guy stuff. This is investing for the long term. This is not day trading to make $500 tomorrow and lose 1,000 the next day. This is long term. But what we're gonna do here, I think their dividend yield changed. It used to be a little bit higher, I thought, but you know what? I gotta double check and make sure this is the right one. I think there is two VD somethings. There is two. There is more of them, but this is the only one on my watch list, so this has to be it. I just wanted to clarify to make sure. So they might have changed their dividend yield a little bit, but I'm still 100% into this stock. You can see this is where the majority of my investments was before. I had 12,000 out of my 17.6 in here. The I like to invest for dividends. So dividends is a fancy word for interest, but interest paid to you instead of interest paid to somebody else. So we like dividends. This is going to pay us 2.77 yearly, but we're going to get it monthly, so it's going to compound faster over time. And yeah, we're going to buy some of this today. We're going to max out what we have today, $100. We're going to put it straight into this. The reason being is because I have seen the payouts over time. What I can show you here is That's a dividend, but that's not the dividends we want. You can see I was getting right here 33.77, 37.91, 34.14 or 17. I was getting approximately 30 plus dollars a month in interest in dividends from these stocks. Now I did have $12,000 in it, but that's about, if you do that math, I mean, you're looking at 400 plus dollars a year. That's just slowly reinvesting itself into this because I have it set to automatically buy more of a stock anytime I get a dividend. So that's going to just help compound the interest and build up the dividends so that you're getting more and more over time. Um, so what we're going to do is we're just going to buy some of this right now. So I'm not a picky guy. I'm not trying to fight to get it 1 cent less or more or whatever. We're looking at it on the day, so on the day, we're actually far down, but for me, that's a healthy thing because you can look at all these different bars here, change the time frame. You can see how it's doing in comparison to its previous self. Over 10 years, the stock has slowly pitter-pattered its way along, and then slowly, after a little bit of a dip there, which is going to be like some COVID crisis times, after that, when people realized things were going to go back to normal eventually, it slowly crawled up, a little falter, or not really even a falter, but just kind of a little bit of back and forth, which is natural. But the progression continues. And looking at the beginning of this, it was a $30 stock. At the end, it's a $77 stock today. This is a 10-year time frame, which is, they like to say that you should double your money in 10 years on something standard like the S&P 500, which is like the most common stock thing you hear of in the world. It's America's top 500 companies compounded into like one stock. Um, and this did more than 100% in the last 10 years, so it's been good. Um, what we're gonna do though, yeah, we're gonna just market buy this. You can set it to different settings that will buy at like certain prices, stop buying at certain amounts, start buying at certain amounts, all kinds of variations. We're just gonna keep it simple because this is for idiots like me. I'm making this video for myself, and maybe it connects with other people like me. I'm not calling you guys idiots. I'm sorry. It's just a little joke. But yeah, we're gonna look at what this is right now. Right now, you can see all these different details. If you're one of those people who does understand all that stuff, I do understand it all a little bit. I'm not gonna go through everything today, though. That's just too much for people just trying to understand how this works. All we're gonna do is set this to market buy in shares or dollars. You can either put in like you want one stock, it's going to buy one stock at roughly, what is it? They're asking $77.03, 2 cents. It's always changing here, kind of, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to buy at market price. I'm gonna put it in dollars. That's what I usually do. It's just easier to understand because I have OCD. I buy things in the exact amount of dollars, like $50, $100, $250. So this is gonna bug the hell out of me because I got 99.98, but it's not gonna say that after. It's gonna say 99.99, but then we'll make money and then we'll have more than 100. OCD, guys, it's a hell of a metaphorical drug. So we're gonna buy this. We're gonna set it up. We're gonna buy this, submit the order. Honestly, it should buy pretty quickly. Wealthsimple transactions are pretty fast. Boom, it bought. We got 29.95 worth of value. It went down 2 cents in the second I bought it somehow, but that's not unnatural, guys. Don't worry, it's not a scam, nothing like that. What we're gonna do here now is we have bought. We're just gonna look at our TFSA again. So now in our TFSA we are holding. Yeah, so we bought it at 77 and 2 cents, I think, and then it dropped 2 cents like right after. Boom, you can see it's going back up already again. You can watch fluctuations pretty quick on Wealthsimple, although it's not exact like stock market things that are like to the second. But you can watch things pretty quickly on here. Um, we've bought this VDY now, which is an ETF. Like I said, sorry, I guess I should have said this is an ETF of Canadian companies. So I believe it's the top 50 Canadian companies. We can go back in here really quickly and read. The fund tracks a market cap weighted index of large, mid, and small cap Canadian stocks with the above average forecasted dividend yields. So sorry, it's not like a top 50. It just tracks a variety of good performing Canadian stocks. But yeah, we've bought it. It's gonna go up. It's gonna go down. I expect a little bit of down right now, because it's on a downward trend right now in general. But what I want to see is just that this is in a little bit of a pit right here. So there's a little bit of falter, could be some economic stuff, whatever, news headlines, this, that, and the other. Companies didn't make a ton of money today. That's okay. I am waiting for to we're in a valley right here. You see these other valleys in the past month? I want to ride that valley back up because that's gonna be really good. Um, so either way, though, we've bought that. I'm probably gonna withdraw this money from this account so it doesn't confuse everybody and just keep showing this. You can see my all-time profit there, which is cool. But yeah, I'm probably gonna pull that money so it's not confusing people. And I just want you guys to, if you like this, just expect another video. I'm gonna make these videos as I have the money or the intention to invest or do something on here, because I don't want to bore you guys with a video that's this long and this remedial. Uh, and I'm just doing it just to talk about things that people have said on YouTube 8 million times. You could, oh, what does this little thing mean on Wealthsimple? Like, there's probably 50 people or 1,000 people who have made a video on that already. This is about my journey, investing and saving, and maybe you want to use my journey as an avenue for yourself to learn something. Or maybe we have similar mindsets and you want to bounce ideas back and forth in the comments. I'm cool with that. That's what this is for. And if I screw it all up and I go broke tomorrow, then you guys got to watch this and learn from it and not do it yourselves. But I did do pretty well before, so I don't know if I can see this. Let's bump back to the TFSA here. I want to see my profit, my all-time profit in a percentage. Can I see that? Time weighted return rate. I don't want simple return. How your investments have performed with the effects of your deposits and withdrawals removed. Any periods longer than a year are annualized. So that is going to be, I want to know if I can see my percentage, or maybe I can do it with a calculator quick. Um, you know what? I'll save that for another video. But I'm gonna calculate the percentage of what I made in the 2.5 years that I was doing this. Oh, I guess simple rate return. I guess I can see that. So I don't know why that says that. Okay, so you can see right here, which is July. This at least gives you some insight. You can see in July here, July 15th, um, I was 51.43% up, and that's in like just over 2 years. So I would have been a lot more by the end of this year. So it's hard to say exactly what I would have returned this year to average last year or the last like 2 and a bit years or whatever. It'd be hard to do the math on that exactly, but what I can tell you guys is that come New Year's, I had done 40% on my year to date last year. In 2025, I did 40% on my account. And then I did some big deposits at the end and whatever, and I was up approximately 20 to 21% this year. So I was shooting to do 40 plus percent by the end of this year as well. Um, so you can see just through some dummy investing that it is possible to make really good money, guys. I always put this into like dummy layman's terms for my friends or whatever. And like if they're not into stocks so that I don't confuse them, but I tell them, I made 40% last year. If you had $1 million to invest and you made 40%, you would have made $400,000 just from investing. So that puts like some real perspective to like the slow game to build up to that is really worth it. If you know what you're doing or if you can learn along the way, that take the time and the patience to get there because that end game is what you want. And if you're good at it, like even if you had $1 million and you made 10% a year, that'd be $100,000 that you did not really have to work for. You had to push a few buttons and think a few thoughts, and that's really it. So investing is the way of your future. There's a reason people have been doing this for so long, and I think that's really all I got for today, guys. But we're starting this TFSA journey. We're gonna lose a couple dollars or a couple cents right now because I'm not afraid of that. We buy in the dip so that we can go up after. So I guess I will just have to wait, and when I have another $100 or something I'm gonna put in, then we're gonna make the next video. We're just gonna let this fluctuate for a few days, for a week or two, whatever it is. I can't give you a time when I'm gonna put more money in. I'm spontaneous with that, but when I go to do that, sometime between 1 to 2 weeks from now, because that's usually my time frame. It's like I try to put something in every 2 weeks, even if it's small, even if it's $50. Um, and whatever I can scrape and put in there, I will. And then we'll make the next video, and we'll see how that goes. If anybody watched this whole video, I appreciate you guys. Maybe somebody will look back on this years later and see where the origin was and be like, oh, it was all $100. You got to work hard for what you want, guys, but also once you've made money, then you can make that money work hard for you as well. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to my ramble. This is Call Me Labs. Peace out. Let's get that money.